Hello everyone, I'm Elizabeth Goodine with my book, Simplifying Chords. We are on page 41 and we are doing major seventh chords. Number one, major seventh chords. I hope you have your book open and you have a pencil so you can underline some of the lines. I'm going to read and you can follow along. Number one, major seventh chords. The symbols that are commonly used for a major seventh chord, using C as an example, are C Maj 7, C capital M 7, and C triangle 7. So you can underline that. How to form a major seventh chord on the tonic, that's the one, of the major scale. Play a major scale. Play 1, 3, 5, and 7. So underline that. Play 1, 3, 5. And in the next line, underline and 7. Next line, example of forming C major seventh on the tonic of a C major scale. So it says play a C major scale. Here we go. And as a reminder, we got that by playing the tonic, the C, and going whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Here we go. Play the C and then go up whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Okay, so C is the first scale tone, D is the second, E is the third, F is the fourth, G is the fifth, A is the sixth, B is the seventh, and C is the eighth or the one. It's the same as the one. Okay, let's look at that. It says we want 1, 3, 5, and 7. So it will be C, E, G, B. That is C major seventh. Now let's read that, the explanation. Even though I explained it, let's read that so you will get used to reading these explanations. C major seventh seems so easy, but when we get to other chords that have a lot of accidentals like flats and sharps, and we're in keys that have a lot of flats and sharps, this will be very important in helping you to really understand what we're doing. Explanation of the chord tones for C major seventh chord. The 1 indicates that you play the first scale tone of the C major scale, which is a C note. The 3 indicates that you play the third scale tone of the C major scale, which is an E note. The 5 indicates that you play the 5th scale tone of the C major scale, which is a G note. The 7 indicates that you play the 7th scale tone of the C major scale, which is a B note. C major 7th chord may be written as C Maj 7, C capital M 7, or C triangle 7, just as we saw above. Now this is important. It can also be written in a more simplified way as E minor 7th over C, meaning that you play an E minor triad in your right hand and a C note in your left hand. We will talk about that more on the next couple of pages on the shortcuts. But look at this here, C, E, G, B, those top 3 notes form E minor triad. Now let's do E major 7th. Example of forming E major 7th chord on the tonic of an E major scale. Play an E major scale. So here we go. E is the first scale tone, F sharp is the second, G sharp is the third, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. Okay, we can see the 1 is an E, the 3 is a G sharp, the 5 is a B, the 7th scale tone is a D sharp. That is E major 7th. Let's turn to page 42. Okay, let's go ahead and read the explanation. Top of page 42, follow along in your book. Explanation of the chord tones for an E major 7th chord. The 1 indicates that you play the first scale tone of the E major scale, which is an E note. The 3 indicates that you play the 3rd scale tone of an E major scale, which is a G sharp note. So here we go, E, G sharp. The 5 indicates that you play the 5th scale tone of the E major scale, which is a B note. The 7 indicates that you play the 7th scale tone of the E major scale, which is a D sharp note. E major 7th may be written as E major 7, E capital M7, or E triangle 7. So you can underline those 3. This is important. Put a little bracket there. It can also be written in a more simplified way as G sharp minor over E, meaning that you play a G sharp minor triad in your right hand and an E note in your left hand. So go back to page 41. Here we go, E, G sharp, B, D sharp. You can see the top 3 notes, G sharp, B, D sharp, form a G sharp minor triad. Okay, and then you could put the E down here. And I'll just tell you this G sharp minor can be in any inversion. Okay, of course you could have the E up here also. We'll talk about inversions later, but I just wanted to throw that in. But for now, just do it in root position. G sharp, B, D sharp. Okay, page 42. So I would like for you to do the one at D flat major 7th. Play the scale tone, read the explanation, and read it slowly. It will really help you to prepare for more complicated chords. Okay, and look at this. On page 42, about halfway down, you'll see challenge for building your skills. So if you really want to do these well, take the challenges, and you're going to build them on all of the scales on page 20. Let's go back to page 20 right now. Okay, so basically, you should be able to do any of these so easily. You're just going to take the 1st scale tone of whatever key it is, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th, just like they are. Okay, so say we want to do an A major 7th chord. So you're going to play an A. You can see the scale there. But even without doing the scale, you see A is the 1, C sharp is the 3, E is the 5, and G sharp is the 7. Sorry, here's A. Okay, let's do F. It's going to be F, A, C, E, just like that. Skip G, skip B flat, F, A, C, E. Okay, so you can spend time with that. Now let's look at some shortcuts in preparation for the following shortcuts. So we're on page 42. And right below that challenge for building your skill, you will see in preparation for the following shortcuts. So I like to put an arrow there in preparation for sections. Okay, so I'm underlining, it says think major triad plus 4 half steps. Underline that, major triad plus 4 half steps. So I'm not going to spend a long time on each of these shortcuts. Frankly, I've got more than you will probably use, but I'd like you to study them. And I will tell you that number 2, the shortcut number 2, which is on page 43, that's my favorite one. It's really easy. But I'd like you to read this one and understand it. So I'll just read it quickly. Shortcut number 1 for forming a major 7th chord. You're going to play a major triad in the right hand. From the top note, go upward by 4 half steps. Play the root of the chord in the left hand. So here it is, C, E, G. From the G, go up 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can play the C in the left hand. Now, I walk you through that step by step, so you can do that. I give it to you on C and A flat, but you can try it on others. Okay, so that is a shortcut that you may want to try. Here's the next one. I'm on page 42 on the last 2 lines. You can put a little arrow there on in preparation for the following shortcut. Okay, let's read that. Page 42, last two lines. In preparation for the following shortcut. As in shortcut number 1, the following shortcut is based on the fact that the lower three notes of a major 7th chord form a major triad. So here we go. Let's go to page 43, shortcut number 2 for forming a major 7th chord. It says play a major triad in the right hand, double the root of the chord on top, and move the higher root downward by 1/2 step. So why don't you underline the first line, play a major triad, underline major triad, underline right hand, circle double the root on top, and then move the higher root down by 1/2 step. Now I walk you through that with C major and B, so you can do that, but look at this, here it is, so easy. Play a major triad, here's the root, C, you're going to double the root, that means you add it on top. So you have C, E, G, C, and then you bring that higher root down by 1/2 step, and there you go. C, E, G, B. Okay, let's do, well, I have it in here. I walk you through step by step, but let's just do B. Here's a B major triad. Remember, here's a B. I'll go 4/2 steps plus 3/2 steps to get that. Okay, we've already talked about how to form a major triad. Double the root. Here's a B, and bring it down 1/2 step. So easy. Okay, here's F sharp. F sharp major triad. Can do it fast if you need to. There you go. B flat. Double the root. Okay, so that's my favorite. So I'll just quickly show you number 3. Number 3, let's just read in preparation for the following shortcut, right above shortcut number 3. Do you see that? In preparation for the following shortcut, I've got a little arrow there. As you can see, the top 3 notes, underline that top 3 notes of a major 7th chord form a minor triad. So underline that. That's what we talked about earlier. The following shortcut is based on this fact. So you can read this, but basically here it is. Shortcut number 3 for forming a major 7th chord. Play the root of the chord in the right hand. Okay, and go upward by 4/2 steps and build a minor triad. So here's the C. You're going to go up by 4/2 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on E, I'll just put my left hand here on C. On E, I'm going to build a minor triad, an E minor triad. So I go 3 plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm doing that fast, knowing that you're going to go back and read this line by line. I've taken you through it step by step, and I did it in B flat. So that's an easy one. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to let you read that, but it's like that, okay? It's doing that E minor in an inversion. I'll let you read that for time's sake. Now let's go to page 44. And let's look at challenge for building your skills. Page 44. After that top table, it's challenge for building your skills. Okay, follow the instructions above for the shortcuts, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, for forming a major 7th chord, and build one on each of the notes. Okay, so just really try to push yourself and don't just build it on the ones I gave you, but try some other ones, okay? Let's look at these progressions. It says learning how to use major 7th chords. Just follow along. I'll read this. A major 7th chord can sometimes substitute for a major triad as shown in the exercises below. We will begin, as we always do, with the following basic chord progression in the key of C major. So here you'll see we have C major, D minor, G, C. Now I've already written numbers above this. We'll do that in a minute so you can do these progressions in every key. So here we go. I'm going to play C, D minor, G, and C. I'll just do the right hand. C major, D minor, G, C. And you can play the bass note. I'll go down this time. Okay, the next line it says play a C major 7th chord instead of the first C major triad. So you see that first chord we did, we're going to make that a C major 7th. Okay, and I gave you every note to play, C, E, G, B. Of course, you could write it as E minor over C. Here we go. Okay, let's go to the next one. I do it in the key of D major. So it's D, E minor, A, D. D, E minor, A, D. I'll do 2 beats each, and I'm going to go down to A. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Okay, then a D major 7th. I've given you the notes, but let's do one of the shortcuts. Let's do D major 7th. We double that root and bring it down a half step. How easy, right? D, F sharp, A, C sharp. Okay, here we go. Now down the road, we're going to do that third chord in inversion and then start some of these in different inversions. There's so many directions we can go, but right now, you can just do the basic root position. Okay, now look at this. I wrote numbers over these so you can do them in every key. So look at this. Let's go back to C, D minor, G, C. Okay, if you're in the key of C, a C is a major triad built on the first scale tone. A D minor is a minor triad built on the second scale tone. So I wrote 2 minor. I wrote a 1 above C and a 2 minus sign or 2 little m above D minor. Okay, above G, I wrote a 5. It's a major triad built on the 5th scale tone. And back to a 1 over C. Okay, and then on the next line, above C major 7th, I wrote C triangle 7, or whatever you want to write, MAJ 7, or a capital M7, and then 2 minor 5 1. So you could do that on any key. So let's memorize that. 1 major 7th, 2 minor 5 1. 1 major 7th, 2 minor 5 1, and let's turn back to page 20. Remember, we'll come back to 44. Okay, so let's look at the key of G. Okay, we're on page 20, and I'm going to do this in the key of G major. So here's your scale for G. Okay, so I want a 1 major 7th. So I want a major 7th chord built on the first scale tone. So I want a G. Here's a G major triad. Double the root. Come down a half step. G, B, D, F sharp. Got that? Okay, and then we want, look again at 44. Okay, 2 minor. 1 major 7th, 2 minor, 5 1. So in the key of G, the second scale tone is an A. I'll build a minor triad, A, C, E. Okay, so G major 7th, A minor, and then a 5 is D. So we'll do a D major triad. Okay, so make it beautiful. Okay, let's do another key. Let's do the key of E flat in the second half of it. E flat. Okay, 1 major 7th. I want an E flat. I'll put it up here. E flat major 7th chord. Here we go. Do an E flat major triad. E flat G B flat. Double the root. Bring it down a half step if you want to use that shortcut. Okay, and then F minor is a 2 minor. It's a minor triad bit on the second scale tone. And then the B flat's the 5th scale tone. I'm going to build a B flat major triad there and go back to 1. So I'll go down this time. All right. Try to play it in all of the keys. Let's go back to 44. And then you can see the fourth table there. I've got a new progression that starts C, F, G, C. And you can write that in. We've got a 1, 4, 5, 1 above that also. And look at the line 2. We're putting F major 7th instead of the F major triad that we had in the first line. So you can write above the C, you can write 1. Above F major 7th, write 4 triangle 7, or 4 MAJ7, or 4 capital M7, and then 5-1. I'll just play that for you. I'll play the first one, the simple one. Okay, and the second line is going to be C, F major 7th, G, C. Let's go down this time. Okay, here it is in D. Here we go. I'm going to go down to G major 7. Okay, I will see you in the next tutorial.